Reese, of course, already has an Oscar, and congratulations for that. In this day of CGI and 3D and all those sort of movies, what's so delicious about this movie is seeing you guys really working that closely, particularly with the animals. You in particular, how was that for you?
That was an incredible experience. I got to train with an elephant named Ty for 3 months, and I got to go to circus school and learn how to do trapeze and acrobatics, and it was just a really unique experience, and one of those situations where you realize, well, first of all, every day I was training on the elephant, I was like, I cannot believe this is my job. I'm so happy right now. This is so awesome. But it was daunting and scary, and I had to really take it slowly and take time to learn all the choreography was very elaborate.
But you really were on top of Ty, the elephant who played Rosie in a lot of those shots we saw. That really was you up there.
Yeah, that was really me. I kept wondering if Frances would please put ticker tape underneath and say, this really is her doing this. I was like, people are going to just think it's like face replacement, but I really did. I couldn't do all the horse stunts, but I did all the elephant stunts.
There's only one. You only didn't do one horse shot. There's only one shot with a stunt double.
Well,
That's it.
I can't do it all, Frances.
It's indelicate to mention age, but there is a 10-year age gap between yourselves. I was just wondering, in a 1930s setting, that, as well as everything else, would have been quite controversial. Was there ever a thought to play up the age gap in the relationship?
I don't think we ever thought about it.
I actually thought about it. I was one of the things that really interested me about. I did. One of the things that really interested me about the dynamic of the love triangle were the age differences. I think it's interesting that August, played by Christoph Waltz, is older than Reese, and I think that it's really interesting that she's older than Rob in the story, because I think had they just seemed perfect from the beginning, it would have been really obvious and a little too clean and a little too easy for me, and I liked that it felt a little more real this way.
There's a line as well, which I just suddenly remember this, when Christoph's talking about why you can't have children, and it's kind of, I remember that being a big part of what my motivation was for the rest of the character, for trying to, for Jacob's reasoning as to why it's okay to steal her, because I thought that was kind of...
Oh, that Marlena he wouldn't allow her to have children.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the biggest deals, and I wouldn't have... I mean, if she was younger, I don't think... This is horrible. I never saw her as being older at all.
I'm with you.
Well, on the more flattering side, I was just wondering, did you actually have to ask Carrie Fisher's permission to wear the Princess Leia outfit, which you look fantastic in?
Thank you. I think. Jacqueline West designed all the costumes. They were extraordinary. And she actually based that costume on a Marlena Dietrich costume from a movie called Mata Hari.
Mata Hari.
So most of the costumes referenced films from the 1930s, Jean Harlow and that sort of thing.
Congratulations to you all on the film. Robert, I've read that you're a massive Jack Nicholson fan. And I'm just curious, are there any plans for you perhaps to work together? Or have you discussed the idea?
I don't have any plans to, no. I mean, you just did, didn't you?
I just worked with Jack, and it was like the greatest experience ever. He's my favorite actor. I think he's so extraordinary. He's worked with so many incredible people.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. I'll give you his email. I'll chat.
A lot of people wouldn't know there was a movie you worked in, I think it was back in 2004, Vanity Fair, and Reese, you so don't look old enough to play Rob's mum, but you did. How awkward was that? You worked as his mum before, and now you're doing a sex scene with the guy.
This is what you get for talking about the snot.
It's totally payback. No, it's not weird at all. I don't know. We did this movie. He was 17. I was 27. I played his mom, and we did this scene, and it didn't end up in the movie, and it was totally implausible then. And I was wearing a weird wig, and he had on like one of those Prince William costumes.
How was that a Prince William?
No, it was like you were a super military guy, weren't you?
I don't know.
I don't either. No, my girlfriend called me up, and it was right when all the Twilight movies were doing really well, and she said, "It's so great that you worked with that guy." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I hadn't worked with that guy." And she goes, "Yes, you did. You played his mother in a movie. He said it in Vanity Fair." It's like, I am horrified right now. This is horrifying. But no, yeah, I mean, whatever, you know. I think in the movie, it's not like I don't know. I'm playing 30 and he's playing 24. And
Yeah, exactly.
nobody makes any big deal about Christoph and I, and Christoph and I have a 25-year age gap.
Exactly, yeah.
But nobody talks about that.
It's all about the old woman, the cougar thing. Now, Rob, just a quick one for the women of Australia as well. You seem to go for a lot of roles where they're very Romeo and Juliet, forbidden love. Are you a romantic yourself? And what's one of the most romantic things you've ever done in your life?
Sorry, that was really sexy, wasn't it? What was a romantic thing? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm really romantic. I don't really know. I'm not like I don't really do sort of cheesy stuff. I don't think. I hope not. I don't know. I don't know. I think the romantic things you do, I've never realised that they're romantic when I'm doing them. I mean, if you try and be romantic, generally people are like, "Oh, that's really sweet." Yeah. But like, yeah, the times when girls have thought things are romantic. I left a rose in someone's locker in school. That was about it.
Francis, you've done an amazing job of recreating 1930s era circus life. What went into developing the whole look, the costume design, and I believe you actually created a whole big top for the actors to act against?
Yeah, I think everything started from the idea that the story is really about an old man remembering the specific time in his life that made him who he was, and so I wanted to really romanticize that. And so that really gave me and the production designer Jack Fisk and the costume designer Jackie West and the cinematographer Rodrigo a foundation, sort of a point of view to go in and create the look and feel. And so we did loads and loads of research on the 30s and found how to build the great old tents. And back then they were all made out of canvas and wax, and so the light was always really beautiful. Found the colors of the trains and all the details and the way that all the textures were kind of worn down and greasy and grimy. And Jackie West would look at all the old films from the 30s and real reference photos, but then we would kind of tailor it, to each and everybody's bodies. And it was just sort of built from there. But I think everybody came in with the same sort of love of the era and the idea of romance and magic and kind of a naturalistic beauty. And that's how it all kind of began.